So today I'd like to talk about some of the survival rifles that you might find out there, specifically the ones chambered in .22. We've all seen them. There's many different types, but there's one type that you're going to see a lot, and another one that I'd like to introduce anyone to if they're not used to it or haven't seen it before. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So this is the Charter Arms AR-7 Explorer. I'm sure you've seen one of these at a gun show or whatever. So the whole idea was to make a survival rifle. Small, easy to fit into a backpack, and everything in here fits into the buttstock. That was the whole idea. It was going to be a survival rifle. If I remember correctly, it was started by the Air Force. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and show you how it all works. So this is the Charter Arms AR-7 survival rifle. Charter Arms no longer makes this. I'm sure there's some company out there that still does. And to access the firearm, first you have to pull off the buttstock, or the butt pad, because everything is inside the buttstock. So you pull off your butt pad. Okay. And you can see in there we have receiver, magazine, and barrel. So that brings us to the first issue that I have with this firearm. Is a lot of times this receiver is kind of a bear to get out. It's not atrocious, but it's something that I don't like. So we have our receiver, and then next we take out our barrel. That comes out nice and easy. What you've got here is a little lug that you tighten it on. There's a small slot here that fits directly into the top of the receiver, so you can't really screw that up. And then you can see this goes to the side. So you take your receiver and you just place it in. There's that little cut. It fits in there. Take your lug, tighten it down. Okay. It's a little wobbly, but there we go. Okay. So we have that together. Now, the next thing we do is we take our magazine out of the buttstock. Holds 10 rounds. We put it in here, and you can see it fits in just like any other one. Now, you take your buttstock, and you can see there's a cut there for this receiver to fit into. And just kind of slide it in there. And on the bottom here, you have a thumb screw. You push it up until you feed the hole, and you just tighten it down. Okay. Don't go too hard, it's just plastic. Okay, and you'll feel it move in, and there you have it. You are now together, you have a survival arm. So here we have it all together. Obviously there's no foregrip, but not really a necessity. It shoulders fairly well. The sights on it are... they're not the best. What you basically have is you have a small metal plate here with a hole drilled into it, and you have a blade sight on the front. So yeah, you can get a decent picture on it. It's not really adjustable. There's a small screw here, so you can kind of move this blade around. It's not really great. But you can see it fits nicely. It fits to me well. It's a semi-automatic. Once again, the magazine holds 10 rounds. The action, you have a small bolt here that comes out, so you can slide this back and then release it, and there you go. You do have a safety here, and it's marked safe here, fire here. You know, pretty simple. Kind of stiff, that's life. So that's basically how it functions. The issue I have is I've fired more than a few of these, and they're all unreliable. The issue I have with them, and apparently I'm not the only one, is that it jams constantly. What happens is, as it feeds the bullets, the cartridges, up in there, it gets stuck either on the feeding ramp or into the mouth of the chamber, and you have a jam. The only way that I have found to fix that is you have to grab a hold of the magazine and push it forward and kind of move it when you're shooting it. Some people on the internet have actually taken and welded a small or soldered a small tab of steel here to push it a little bit. You may find that yours works perfectly well. I'm just saying, out of the handful of them I've shot, I've had a lot of issues with jamming, especially when you're using a hollow point ammunition or a soft lead. So that's the issue I have with it. Once again, yours may function better. I just haven't found that to be the case, so it's not really something I would recommend. So I'm going to break this down, and I'm going to show you one that I do recommend. So this is the Ruger Backpacker. It's basically a 1022 that's been designed specifically to break down and go into a backpack. It's a Magpul stock. It's fairly comfortable. As you can see, it's pretty secure. Unlike the other model, it doesn't slide in there, so you do have some things that can snag, which, you know, can be a problem. Like I said, things aren't quite as streamlined. You still have, just like a standard 1022, you have your actuator out here to the side. Instead of the safety being marked. It's the old push button style, but you know, if you're familiar with firearms, you know red means fire. So the way it works is your barrel is stored here underneath. There is a clip that holds it together. You have to squeeze these two here, and the back of the barrel is in a rubber pad here. So what you do is you squeeze these two right here, buttons one on either side, and it releases that clip. You can see it right there, and then it just kind of rolls out of that rubber stop. In order to put it in, you set the barrel down in, twist it to the left, push it all the way in. You'll feel the bolt move slightly, and lock it in, and you're ready to go from there. Take standard Ruger 10/22 magazines, 10 round rotaries, which is nice because you don't have to worry about will it fit, won't it. There's 100 of them out there. The really excellent thing about this is in the buttstock there is a storage compartment that holds 3 more magazines. So instead of having 10 rounds like you have with the Explorer, you now have 40 rounds, and they're fairly accessible and still in the container, and it's quite nice. It shoulders well, you know, it's a little lower, but still I have no issues with it. The stock fits comfortably. One of the nice things about it is you can see the sights are very easy to see. I believe they're True Glows, and that's really nice as well. It is tapped for a scope, comes tapped for one, but putting a scope on a backpacking rifle would kind of be pointless, in my opinion. You may have another one. I like that the controls are all right here. You have your safety, you know, you have your standard 10/22 bolt catch, your mag release. It's all right there. You know, if you're familiar with the 10/22, you know what we're doing. So that's kind of nice. You know, it's familiar controls. I have found it to be extremely accurate. I have had no issues with accuracy. I would have no problem carrying this in my backpack. The one issue that you may find, and that other people have found, is that squeezing those clips to get it out of the buttstock, as well as taking the barrel off, can present an issue. And I'll show that to you here now. So one of the problems with taking it apart is you can see under the barrel here we have a small steel rod that we have to pull up. Now at the same time you have to slightly pull down on the action. I found the best way to do that is to grip it here, pull up, pull on the barrel, then twist, and then it pops out. So now you're back apart, and once again you just place it in that rubber pad, and you can see that little clip right there that slides into, and you're locked back up and ready to go backpacking. This one I find is fantastic. I really would recommend this, or at least looking into it. Once again, it's a 10/22. We've all shot them. We all know that they're a fine little firearm for what they are. So that is the Ruger 10/22 backpacker. So in conclusion, these are just a couple of the 22 backpacking rifles or survival rifles you may run into. You may find that your experiences may vary, but I found that the Ruger was the superior amongst all of the different survival 22s that I have tried, and I highly recommend it. I hope you find something here that may help you, and if there's anything I missed, please put it in the comments. Thank you.